Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another amazing episode of Bandwidth and Banter. Please say hello, Druid IRL.
Hi, Druid IRL.
She took me so literally. You're pulling a Star Kitty. Star Kitty does that to me all the time.
I saw her in chat.
It's
had to do
probably
it.
because you guys have been gaming together, which I approve of. I was super stoked. It made me so happy to know that you guys were playing Stardew Valley multiplayer together last night offline, just because you wanted to spend time together. You melted my heart. Thank you.
And you Star Kitty type 2.
Uh, Druid, last week it was such a treat to have our good friend Cater Lord, aka, well, that's my AKA for him. Spud Solutions was on.
Yes.
What do you think of the dirty dozen that we like to nickname the folks that come on from
I love
yesterday?
it personally. It's great.
I
It
think it
brings me
was
such joy.
all right. It was a great idea. I'm glad that we discovered it together and implemented it. It's going really well. And we got some more shocking and amazing interviewees in mind for every month this year. Just saying, the summer is going to be sweet. But before we get there, we have a number of amazing new folks that we are super honored and universally blessed to be able to have on the show. And today is one of the coolest that we've been honored to meet. We're very fortunate because we've only had a few YouTubers on, and he's joining those ranks, and he's incredibly talented and super successful on YouTube, or at least really, relatively speaking, we think so. And so I can't talk him up anymore. Do you have anything else to add about Hallowed Be Thy Game?
No, I'm just so excited. I'm just excited that we have a YouTuber on. I think it's really fun to that's just a switch up all on its own, and I'm just so excited. And I hope that opens up where we can get more just YouTube content people.
Right? Yeah. Because highlighting everybody in multiple different mediums is what we're all about. We focus a lot on Twitch because that's kind of our primary medium, obviously. But it's super honored to have folks like Hallowed Be Thy Game YT, who is on the show right now. There he is.
Hey guys. How y'all doing?
Doing great. How
sir.
are you?
Thank you for coming on the show. It's an honor to have you. Please reintroduce yourself and tell the folks a little bit about your channel.
Oh, thanks. I am Ren from Hallowed Be Thy Game, and I run a YouTube channel where I mostly focus on Switch and JRPG content. I would say my heart and passion is with just JRPGs and just heartfelt stories. And I don't know. I mean, and I would say in the past like 6 years, I just fell in love with the genre. And I for quite a few years I just PC gamed, and I kind of discovered the medium of JRPGs, and I kind of went on a quest to experience everything I'd missed over the past decade or two. And I just wanted to share that. And we have a great community of people who are just a joy to kind of share in the adventure. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
I love it. Guys, get ahead of the game and just go follow his YouTube channel now. Go subscribe.
Yep.
Go just do it now. There's multiple links. Just hop over there really quick and just give him a subscribe.
I appreciate it.
And then comment Stormkeep loves you in any of his chat comment section. However YouTube works.
That way he knows that way he knows that we have rallied for him.
Rock on. Yeah.
All right. So, Druid, you get to kick off the questions today, and I'm jelly, but I'm happy for you.
You got it last time.
I know.
Ren, please share a boring fact about yourself.
Oh man. There's so many. I am maybe one or two decisions away from becoming a real life hermit. So yeah, I love nothing more than to sit down with either a good book, manga, or video game, and that's the perfect Friday night for me. But I'm married to a social flower, so she's going to make sure that I do not fulfill my destiny of becoming a hermit. So I'd say that's probably where the YouTube kind of toolkit comes from, is just wanting to be a hermit. Yeah.
You know what's so funny is my husband's the introvert.
Really? Yeah.
And I'm the one that forces him into the limelight.
I mean, it's good for us, but we don't have to like it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So fantastic.
Yeah.
So
that's
I got this next question. I love this one. So Ren, by the way, he also goes by Ren on Discord, so that's why we're calling him Ren.
Yeah.
How did you pick your YouTube name, and what was the inspiration?
Well, it's kind of a multi-factor approach. Is I definitely love rock and roll, and I was really kind of thinking about it, and I did want something that was kind of family focused and everything, even though I may not be the most PG person, language wise in real life. I wanted a channel that people could turn on, and if their kids were in the room, they could hey, the blue's shifting. Hey, rock on. But yeah, I just wanted a place where people could, watch content on the things I love, even though I might not be covering. I mean, because trust me, a lot of the games we cover are not family friendly. But I wanted something to where, people could have on in the background. And I obviously love rock and roll, and was talking with my wife when we were brainstorming, and Hallowed Be Thy Game came up, and I was like, hey, sick rock song reference, and kind of keeping it a little PG. So yeah, that not the most dazzling thing, but that was the thought process behind it. So
I think it sticks out a lot. I think it's awesome. Don't you, Drew?
It is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I when I learned when I saw your name in chat, I was like, oh, this is cool. This is a great name. This is a content creator name for sure.
Right. Yeah.
It's excellent. I love it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah. I need to put it on a coffee mug or something someday, but haven't got there yet. Yeah.
I know what you're saying. We haven't quite got there yet either.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much.
All right, Ren. What D&D class do you consider yourself to be in real life?
Oh man, glorious question. And now that I've gotten into D&D with my own little clan, I kind of know an answer now. I would say a vengeance paladin, or a retribution paladin. I can't remember. Sorry, my World of Warcraft gamer foundation kind of clashes with some of the D&D terms sometimes, but I would say, if anybody's ever been in my Discord and they've looked at my fan mail section, they know that sometimes, I say it all the time, I will argue with the locals sometimes. So, we try to keep it clean and good, but there is a little bit of an ornery streak in there. So I would say Vengeance Paladin. So
nice.
I love that.
Nice. Very cool.
We don't get very many paladins, so I love that you're at least just like, oh yeah, fucking
not an Oathbreaker yet.
Yet.
The dream is still young, though.
I mean,
right?
If you're an Oath of Vengeance paladin, the only way I could see you breaking that oath would be to not take vengeance upon the person that you're tracking, right?
I'm compelled to argue with the trolls.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Sorry, go ahead, Druid.
I was just going to say, if you let that troll slide, that's when your oath is broken.
Right.
I mean,
that's when it will be.
So many trolls don't know how many people have laughed at them in my Discord. I mean, we have a good time. So, yeah.
You definitely have a great active Discord community, which is awesome. And
Yeah, I'm very blessed. They're an awesome group of gamers, and they're all a bunch of good people. I love them.
right on, right on. Well, moving on to a question that I'm sure will be both easy and difficult for you.
Okay.
What is your favorite anime, and what are a couple you're currently watching?
Okay. Favorite anime? I'm going to cheat just a little bit here,
Uh-huh.
and I would say Vampire Hunter D, Bloodlust. It is a movie. I don't know if that's a distinction that matters, but even though Bloodlust is my favorite, there is no, like, I would consider the first Vampire Hunter D to be like one of the most important mediums in like, I mean, forms of media in like all of movies and TV shows for me, because it was really the movie I saw as a kid that just blew my mind. Because up till then, I'm watching like the Looney Tunes, and this was something where like a dude's head's being exploded. I mean, there's graphic violence, ultra violence, like that old school anime violence from like
Right.
the 80s, 90s. It just like my eyeballs were just like 9-year-old me looking back. I let my 9-year-old son watch Vampire Hunter D? I can't say I would, but I'm happy I did, because it just changed. I literally, Vampire Hunter D to me, just the archetype of the tall, dark swordsman, just the stoic demeanor. Like, sorry, Guts, I love Guts from Berserk with all my heart, but Vampire Hunter D just still stands as like, I don't know, like, this is the hero archetype for me. I just have been madly in love with it. Now, as for anime I'm currently watching, I just caught up with one of the most epic gauntlet runs I've had in all of my history with anime. I caught up with One Piece.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh,
That's a feat, dude. That's the only reason I've never watched One Piece, is because I'll never catch up, is what I said to myself.
is a feat. I mean, a multiple month journey of like religiously watching it, but I caught up with that, and I'm currently waiting for My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer to start coming out again. But I would say a really good one that I caught up with here recently, that is, I would recommend it to anyone who's in need of a good cry, is To Your Eternity. And it's just an incredible, thoughtful look on what it means to be alive and the experiences we feel. If anybody's ever seen To Your Eternity, I mean, maybe they can share, but like, I just, that was such a powerful story to me. So that was probably the most recent one I've been watching. I need to catch up on a few others. So
You're right.
yeah.
To Your Eternity will make you bawl your eyes out. Hell,
Oh
just that first episode.
that first episode, it's so powerful. Like, it's so much heart and soul there. And I feel like just it's such a unique way to tell a story, and that the main character is effectively just, he's like almost like taking it all in. And, we learn to grow with him. And it was just, oh my gosh, that was so powerful. I can't wait for that one to come out.
He's like the SSD or hard drive of the universe, and he's just storing all the data that exists.
I just gotta hand it to anime though, is I feel like it's a medium that is really flexing some creative muscle.
Oh yeah.
I mean, obviously there's some formulaic anime out there. I'm not gonna say there isn't, but I'm just saying that the potential for unique storytelling is just unmatched right now coming out of anime, and it's hitting the feels for me. So
wow, you and I have it in common. I fell into the love of anime. Well, I guess roughly 18 years ago or so, when I when I met my significant other, it's Star Kitty. She got me. I mean, I had watched some of the anime movies on HBO at the time, which was the Miyazaki movies, and I did. And growing up, I had watched like technically Speed Racer is sort of anime, right? And I'd watched I forget, it was the old World War II battleship floating through space that was also a big gun. I forget the name of it, but so I'd watched some anime before when I was younger and not realized I'd watched anime. But when she introduced me to X, that just because, like you said, that cinematic, powerful storytelling quality, they try abstract concepts in anime that you just don't see in regular Hollywood mediums. And I'm sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent.
No, I love it. Yeah. I still need to see X, but yeah, I mean, it's just there's just nothing else like it. I think the first anime I probably technically ever saw would have been Astro Boy because my dad liked it when he was a kid. I think it was on Sci-Fi and Cartoon Network many moons ago. They would show effectively an adult like R-rated anime on like Saturday nights or something like that, and that's when I saw Vampire Hunter D, and yeah, that changed everything. So
right on.
I love everybody. So many people that watch anime. I know why I can't, and it is my inability to stop. And I already have too many things going on. It's the only reason why I cannot watch anime, because I am a go big or go home. There's no casually watching anything. I'm going to watch this anime. I'm going to watch the iceberg theory videos. I'm going to deep dive. I'm going to buy all the mangas. I'm going to buy the merchandise. And now I'm broke and have no time. And I'll never, like, that's the kind of person that I am. So that's why I'm like,
no, I get it. Yeah. I have an addictive personality that's like, not to bring down the mood, but like, I mean, it's kind of like an all in, all out situation for me. And, you know, I think if you're really passionate about something, you know, you kind of have to. But yeah, so getting into a new series, especially with like older school JRPGs, you know, that can be a pretty hefty cost when you're late to a show and you're like, man, I want all the things, you know, and it can be a lot for sure.
Yep. Yeah, so that's why I have it. So I just get breakdowns from my husband. He fills me in. So I recognized most of the titles you guys said, most of them. I have a vague idea of what's happening. So I love it though.
Props to you. She pulled on me.
I
did. Sorry. Someone clip that. All right. Next question to you there, Druid.
Who is the greatest waifu in anime?
All right, y'all. I didn't prepare. Oh God, this is gonna be tough. I wasn't expecting really difficult questions. Hold on. Oh my God, I'm gonna say an answer and then I'm gonna come back and kick myself. Oh, let me think here. I keep coming back to Asuka. Let me think. I need some inspiration. I gotta look around the room, make sure I'm taking in all of them into account. At least you asked me to anime. I think I'm a little less invested in anime waifus as I am JRPG waifus. I wouldn't feel as guilty, but I would say, yeah, I'll go with Asuka from Evangelion. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going right now.
It's okay if it changes on the fly in the future. That's a great answer for now.
But I am curious though, if we switched it from anime to JRPG waifu, who is the greatest?
Tifa.
Say it again?
Yeah, Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. Boom. That's the easy one. Now, I do love Makoto from Persona 5. Yeah, I feel a little guilty, but yeah, I've had a crush on Tifa since like 98, 97. I don't know, like, yeah, you know, I mean, I got to keep it real, man, you know?
Nice. Thank you. Thank you for letting us stretch your brain and push you to your limits.
Yeah. I might actively getting crucified in my own comment section right now. But you know what? I'm going out in the blaze of glory. So
it's okay.
Yeah. All right. This is a fun one. This is a little bit tougher, but Name a manga you would like to see turned into an anime, and one you wish they had not or had done a better job.
The one I wish they could get right would be Berserk. I think it's tough because there's a lot about Berserk that is just not massively marketable to like massive wide audience. It's ultra violent. However, I just feel like Berserk deserves the chance for Guts's very dark, very triggering story to kind of be brought to light. Because I mean, there's a lot of people who have some horrific things happen to them, and someone like Guts who has had this genuinely horrific childhood and life that beats all the tropes. You know, he's not like, because I feel like one thing that anime could use more of is heroes that aren't just dark or bad because of external circumstances they have no control over. Like a demon possessed their body, so they're edgy. No, like I think I think stories like Guts, where he has very real demons he's struggling with, but he also has some very real shortcomings in his character development and story to where he does some very questionable things early on. And you know, I feel like people need to have exposure to heroes that maybe have failed and have the opportunity to have that hero's journey to for redemption, you know, that shines so bright later in Berserk. But really, the anime, obviously, aside from the old school original run, which I think's great, I just wish they could do it right because I think it was in 2016. It's just an atrocious quality anime. They just completely just did Berserk dirty. And, you know, with the recent events of like, you know, the creator's death, I just wish it could have just an all out, you know, some passionate fans behind it, guiding it in its creation process. Because I know it can happen, but yeah, but that's one I wish could have a better anime, which modern for Berserk. Now, one that a manga that I wish could have a anime right now. Let me think here.
Gotta look at the bookshelf real quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I would have said Dan to Dan. I don't know if anybody here has read Dan to Dan. It's absolutely bonkers. It just here recently got announced one, but that was the one I was shipping for a while because it's so good. It's just an insane tale of like this guy who believes in aliens but doesn't believe in the paranormal, and this woman who believes in the paranormal but doesn't believe in aliens. They effectively get paired together, and aliens and the paranormal are like invading Earth, and it's just literally like someone dropped acid and then started writing a story. It is hilarious. But it finally got announced. I pray to God it's good because I'm freaking over the moon for the manga. But yeah, that was the one I was really pulling for. But
Wow, I love it.
one of my favorite manga of all time. It had an old school anime that got kind of canceled early on. It diverged really bad from the source material. I wish it would get a new one, but if I had to choose between it or Berserk, I think Berserk would be the most epic anime to be revisited. So, but
Right
yeah,
on.
sorry, I've rant over for now.
No,
So,
no,
yeah.
perfect, dude. I love it. That's exactly what we're here for. And I have to share, I too have a love and affinity for Berserk. In fact, Star Kitty can attest to this. I actually created an entire 2-year D&D campaign that was inspired by Berserk. I grabbed the manga book that basically is, there's like a manga put out that's supposed to be like I guess it's like an encyclopedia of Berserk. Like it has all kinds
Okay.
of details. Of course, I'd never read the manga, but I'd watched all the anime stuff, even the crappy stuff. So I had a you know, the feeling of it. But yeah, I crafted a world where you know, demons were secretly taking over kingdoms, and kingdoms were fighting against each other, and the you know, I did tell you that but yeah. So and we went on for 2 years, and it was really neat the way all the characters tied to the backgrounds. I even brought it was set in a post since I didn't know how it was going to end, the manga, right? I kind of envisioned it in the future, and they even got to meet with the Ghost of Guts and what's his name? The main villain. Why am I blanking on his name? Huh? Griffith. Yes, Griffith. I made it such that Griffith, for a long time, they thought he was a BBEG, but it turned out he was actually trying to redeem himself and stop Void from coming back to the world.
See what happens. I mean, who knows? Who knows how it all wraps up?
It was really cool. It was cool. It was fun. Anyway,
Berserk was kind of backwards too. I'm a massive fan of the Dark Souls games and Bloodborne. And I know Hidetaka Miyazaki, anyways, the creator of Dark Souls is a massive Berserk fan. And so I fall in love with Dark Souls. And as much as I love Miyazaki, it is shocking to me how much of that world he took from Berserk. So like when I got into Berserk, I was like, holy moly, this is my jam, and it just was I never looked back. So, but yeah, it's one for the history books. I can't recommend Berserk to just anybody, right? I mean, there are some ultra disturbing things in Berserk. I mean, just a level that's, but if it's for you, there's really nothing else like it out there.
Yeah. Agreed. Hey, Drew, thank you for letting us fanboy out on this stuff.
No, listen. One of my favorite things is listening to people that are passionate about something talk about it. And I get to sit here and people get to watch me go. And that's all that matters to me. So I thank you guys for feeling comfortable nerding out in front of me while I go.
You're welcome.
Okay, so what drew you to YouTube? Why'd you start creating content?
That's a great question. This was one I kind of thought about ahead of time. So like I said, I'm kind of like, a hermit by nature, and life experiences and just work kind of led it to where for, I would say, about a 5 to 7 year time span, our family was just moving around the globe, the country, I mean, so we were moving around a lot. So I was away from my friends who, I've just been friends with for decades at this point. And we talked about games, and I'll be honest, like, I just missed being able to talk about nerd culture with people. And, in my travels, I was just like, you know what? I got a little bit of extra time here. We didn't have a second son at the time. So, and our boy had gotten older. And so I was like, you know what? I want to try to express myself and have some kind of creative endeavor. And if people watch, great. If anybody out there can in some way feel a sense of camaraderie, then hey, we're both in it for that. And so I just started sharing like whatever my heart was passionate about at that time, be it talking about maybe my history with games or whatever JRPGs I was getting into. And, I wasn't really sure if I was going to continue with it. And then, 2020 happened, and I just, I found a sense of like creative freedom and a community, like my tribe or whatnot. And it was really just that's kind of what started it. And since then, there was plenty of times I wanted to stop just because I really hate editing. I cannot express how much I dread editing. With all my heart, I would do anything to just not have to edit, but I'm too much of a cheapskate to pay somebody to do it. So, really just the community is what kept me in it. And I mean, like the people in my Discord, huge shout out to them. If any of them are in the chat right now, I can't see chat, but that might be a good thing. But yeah, like I just, they're just a great group of gamers, and we talk about anime, manga, JRPGs, and yeah, I think that's what keeps me doing it. And even though I'm back home and settled, I'm back in my game room, surrounded by my wife. I mean, my games, and yeah, it's all good, and that's kind of the long and short version of it. So
thank you.
Love it.
So Ren, what did family and friends think when you told them you planned on creating YouTube content?
Okay, well, that's a great question. Holy moly. You know what? None of my friends watch my YouTube channel anyways, which is odd. Isn't that kind of odd? Like, you know, and I would encourage anybody who's getting into like YouTube or Twitch, if your friends don't immediately hop on, you don't do it for other people. You really got to do it for yourself.
Yep.
But my wife, God bless her, she's not even really into games. You know, she'll play Mario Kart on her phone. Every video she's watched, every video she's commented. You know, at whether I had like 3 views on a video and one comment, that comment would have been her. And you know, I mean, she was always encouraging. My family was just kind of like, "How old are you?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" But you know, I would say, but as the years went on and it became successful, some people, I mean, successful in their eyes. You know, I mean, there's much bigger fish in the pond than me, even in my space. But like, you know, some people can only determine worth and success. You know, and like, how do I want to put this? Like, unless they see some type of monetary value in something, they don't see the worth in it. And you know, I would say for 2 years it was, you know, I didn't do YouTube for money. Let's just be honest. And you don't get into any type of content creation for the money. For the love of God, don't do it for that. But like, you know, but really, I will admit, I think for any content creator, at least in my experience, the first year or two is just an endurance test. At least on YouTube's end, YouTube wants um, consistency, and they want interaction and whatnot. And you know, I think as long as your heart's in it, you know, and you find success in it, then that's what matters, whether other people do or not. But thank God I have my wife, because she was about my own cheerleader for about 2 years before everybody else showed up. So
Right on. Thanks to
yeah,
our
Shout out
spouses.
to
yeah,
Mrs. HallowedBeThyGame. Shout out to her.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
We love you.
yeah, the ultimate waifu, let me tell you. So yeah.
What struggles did you deal with when you started your YouTube channel?
You guys got some good questions. Okay. I had a couple for sure. Really, it's tough when you put because when you create, at least for me, I put part of myself into it. It may not be pretty or what, but you know, I put my thoughts, my passion, my blood, sweat, and tears into it. And you know, in the beginning, I was a weekly upload channel before things got crazy and I had to slow down a bit. I would put like 20 some hours into editing a video, and I just would stop sleeping. And you know, so I would get the family to bed, and I would record from like 10 to 11, and then I'd edit to like 4 in the morning, and then get up at like 6 or 7. And I did that for a long time. And that was really tough. And it's tough when you put that much of yourself into something, and then you get somebody who just says like, "Hey, this is trash. You're dumb. I hope you die in a fire." You know, I hope your dick falls off. That was an interesting one. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I'm sorry I don't like Final Fantasy 13 that much, but okay. Anyways, all kidding aside, you know, you put yourself into that, and you get met with negativity, and then
Mhm.
like, you know, people you think would jive with it don't, and you just have to ask yourself like, why am I doing this? And really, at the end of the day, you know, I mean, it's about an expression of self, you know, and even
Mm.
though some of us may be phenomenal editors or orators and have, you know, just the gift of gab, you know, just put yourself out there, and if somebody doesn't like it, then they can piss off, you know, like whatever, you know, it's like, you know, you do it for yourself. So that was a hard lesson to learn, to deal with negativity, being able to take some constructive criticism or feedback from even the most vile of comments. Like somebody's like, "Hey, you know, your intro is too long. I hope you die in a fire." You know, there's an important piece to that sentence where maybe my intros could be shorter, but I'll refrain from dying in the fire. You know, like,
Yeah, ignore that part. It's not that important.
and you just slowly become dead inside. And you know, but no, but yeah. And then an interesting one. I had a YouTuber or a Twitch. He was like a Twitch YouTuber streamer react to one of my videos, and he like spent like 30 minutes flaming me, and then at the end he was like, it wasn't that bad a video. So like I had like 30 minutes of his chat like flaming my video, and then at the end they were like, it wasn't that bad. I'm like, all right. So interesting, interesting things along the way. But yeah, I would say, you really just finding why you're doing YouTube is probably the biggest challenge, because or any type of content creation, just be true to yourself, and that's a hard lesson to learn.
Well said, sir. Well said.
Thank you.
Well, on that note, share more of your wisdom, please. What tips can you share with future content creators?
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Well, I would say, if from the YouTube side of it, because I am literally a dunce when it comes to Twitch. So kudos to you guys. You guys have an impressive setup here, and huge shout out to your guys' channel. I freaking love I wish I could make it more to your guys' streams. I love every one of them I catch. But from the YouTube side of it, I would just say, make sure that everything you're making, you're passionate about. And don't worry about the analytics side of it. But if obviously everybody wants their channels to grow, I mean, clearly, like, that's just obviously people want things to grow. I would say, when you're used to like editing, uploading, never neglect tagging your videos on YouTube. Really just ask yourself, when you're making the video, would I type into a search bar that would bring up this video, and fill up those 500 characters it gives you. Oh, sorry, this might be a little deep cut, but
please.
Fill that up with everything you could think of. More information, the better. Make sure you hashtag your videos, some broad, generic, like catchy thing. And but make sure you're doing something you're passionate about, because when YouTube finds an audience for your video, it will want to pigeonhole you into that content. So like, let's say you do a Minecraft video, since we were talking about Minecraft before stream, and suddenly, boom, Minecraft takes off. Well, let's say you really don't like Minecraft that much. If you're not careful, YouTube will only want you to do that one thing. So just be careful. Just be passionate about what you're making, and just be open to the idea that not every one of your videos would be a hit. So keep your heart and passion in there. You'll develop those like tight bonds with your clan. You'll form your hardcore group of people that you love interacting with. They love your content. And then, if you have something that's more popular that maybe, you want to keep a schedule with, that helps grow your content, you kind of need to balance a mindset of creating what grows your channel and creating what keeps you doing YouTube, because you can burn out with the slog pretty quick if you're not. So, that's, and for the love of God, thumbnails. Spend time on thumbnails. I wish they weren't important, but they are. You can have the best video in the world, but if people don't click on it, it sucks, but it is what it is. So
thank you.
Those are kind of like the three big ones, I would say. So
that's incredible advice. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Fucking fantastic. Sorry, I forgot where we were.
11.
Oh, thank you. What do you enjoy most about your content creation? What's your favorite thing about it?
Oh my gosh. I would say, really, for me, my biggest passion is finding hidden gems, games that just fly under the radar. Because in the age we live in, I would say the AA scene and like indie gaming is where kind of the heart and soul of creativity is at right now.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, with just kind of the game industry being as monstrous of a powerhouse it is, and a lot of things can slip under the radar. So my favorite thing in the world is when I find a game that I'm not saying I'm discovering every hidden gem on the planet. I'm just saying, but when I'm playing a game I've never heard someone talk about, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so good. And like just that moment when I'm like recording, I'm like, they have no idea what's coming. And I'm uploading that sucker and I'm like waiting for the comments. I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, oh my God, I've never heard of this game. I'm like, that feeling is addicting.
Mm.
That right there is just being able to discover, because I wouldn't be hunting these things unless there was kind of like, my ravenous group of, tribal members who are looking for the unknown. But when, we're on the hunt and like, or somebody will DM me on the Discord. I got a bud in Discord. His name's Athenian Mind. He's a huge SMT fan like me. He'll DM me some of these games. I'm like, oh my God, how did you find this sucker? It's just that sense of discovery when, you find something that's truly hidden under the radar. It's, man, that hits. It's good.
Oh,
I would say
I
that's
could,
probably what keeps me going. So
Nice.
I could see that. I'm a
Mhm.
dopamine fiend.
yeah, nothing quite like it. So yeah.
Oh,
Ren, how long have you been
yeah.
playing video games, and what was the first one you ever played?
Oh, man, that's a good. Well, I am a child of the '80s. The first video game I ever laid eyes on, I was over at my cousin's house, and he was playing The Legend of Zelda, and he was showing it to us, and I was just like, my mind, like there was nothing like it. Like he was moving the controller, and the character was moving on the screen. It was like this outdoor adventure. I mean, there was just mystery, and I felt like when he was showing me stuff, I felt like I was viewing magic. I was just like, there felt like the world was just a way bigger place than I could ever imagine. Santa Claus is still real. I mean, everything is just brand new. And I was just blown away and I just fell in love with it. And, that feeling's been rare over the years, but it has always been attributed to video games. And yeah, so the original Nintendo, the first Legend of Zelda, I was just blown away, and I I've never really gotten over that feeling, and yeah, so
Nice.
man, I can't. I unfortunately it was so long ago, I don't even remember what year that would have been.
That's
Very
amazing.
That's okay. That's close enough.
yeah. yeah.
Um, oh, what? Sorry, I'm just struggling to keep up. I'm just loving this conversation.
All right.
Um, what is your favorite thing and your least favorite thing that you have streamed or recorded? Because I know you've done some streaming on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what has been?
Oh gosh. Okay, let me think here. I have played some games I have truly hated. Okay, well, there was one I had such high hopes for, and it's a deep cut. It's weird. It's probably not. This isn't probably the best answer, but it's the one that truly disappointed me. There's this game called Zengen. It's on Steam, and I had such high hopes for this game. And I had a list almost completely rounded out for a hidden gems video, and I was like, oh man, this might be it. It's just dirt cheap, and I was playing it, and it was such a slog. And I recorded it, and I made some comments on it, and I wanted so badly to like it, and I spent so much time on it, and I just had to like cut and run from the video. I was like, I had to come to terms with the fact I just hated the game. I just could not jive with it, and I just could, yeah. So I would say that. What's interesting to me, because I'm not a streamer, I actually thought streaming the Yakuza games was very difficult for me because I was like engrossed in the story. Obviously, Yakuza is one of the best video game series and franchises of all time,
Mhm.
but I was just playing it. I just wanted to play the game, you know, and I was completely neglecting chat, and I just found it to be a really difficult game for me to stream. And I was like, I think I can't stream this game because I just I feel like there's so much dead air. So I don't know how you guys do it where you're playing like a narratively driven game, but trying to interact with chat, but you don't want to stomp all over the cutscenes because I feel like that would be an annoying thing for a viewer. So it was just this weird conundrum that my YouTuber self could not figure out how to do for Twitch. So kudos to you guys with Cyberpunk, and the games you guys play, I don't know if I could do it. Yeah.
What you do to, I have not learned that balance. What I do is I just accept the fact that my cutscenes will never not be interrupted by farts.
Yeah.
And if I want to play a game for narrative story, I do have to play it offline.
Yeah.
But if I'm streaming, it is for chat.
Yeah, that's the way I felt.
For us.
Yeah, I felt bad because I loved Yakuza. I didn't want people to think I wasn't enjoying the game. I mean, they're right up my alley. They're weird. They're in Japan. Hello. And it's got the Yakuza. Like, I mean, everything about it was hitting. I just could not find a way to entertain people with it on streaming. So,
right on.
Yeah. Well, I will say Whiskered Tack says, I remember Ren streaming Yakuza 0 in December 2022, I think it was. It was awesome. We in chat were talking. So, like, chat was entertaining themselves, it sounds like.
Well, hey, huge kudos to him. Thank you. You're very kind. You're very kind. OG watcher there. Rock on. Yeah.
Ren, what is the biggest difficulty in building a community on YouTube, since participation is mostly through the comment section?
Yeah, it's tough because, like I said, for people who may not know, I started playing MMOs in like 2004, and I quit in like 2018 for a while. And, I played Final Fantasy 14 for a bit, which is an incredible game. But I kind of developed like a thick exterior. So I read comments. I read every comment. And I usually reply to every comment. And life's been pretty crazy here lately, and I've slowed way down, unfortunately. But I would say, for me, just interacting with your community, because, I feel like for me, there's a lot of people out there who, they watch YouTube as a form of escapism, or they try to find some type of camaraderie. People are looking for connections. I mean, it's a lonely world out there. We live in this age where everybody's connected through social media, but people feel more disconnected than ever. So I really wanted people to know that, hey, I get it. I know what it's like to, want to have somebody to talk to, but maybe there's no one in your direct vicinity or in your own personal social circle who plays these games, because I mean, how many people play Dust Diver, rock on. But like, and you want to talk to people about it. And so if someone takes the time out of their day to comment on my video, I feel a sense of an obligation to say, hey, I see you. I get you. I appreciate that you enjoyed the video. Or, hey, I respectfully decline to die in a fire. Thanks for commenting, yeah, so, but really though, I would say the comments and the comment section was really where I did it for a while. And then people kept asking for a Discord, and I was kind of worried about having a Discord because I didn't know if I could commit to both the comment section on YouTube and being active in a Discord. And, luckily the community they're such an awesome group of people. They interact with themselves when I'm a little, there's a lot of poopy diapers from all the babies, the baby I'm raising in this house, and I'm not able to be on there that much. But, I would say just being honest and real. And while I do interact with the trolls and comments, nothing will get someone permabanned faster from my Discord or from my YouTube section than attacking the community. While I kind of this inhuman exterior to read like negativity, I ain't handling that bullshit from like people in my comment section. Like if somebody's targeting that, you're just gone. I mean, like I'm not trying to like police for other people or be like, but like I want people to feel safe. There's one thing to have disagreements, but like if somebody's saying the same vitriol to someone else, I feel like over time, because you're planting a lot of seeds with each video. You treat each video in each comment as a chance to grow something. Each video might be the first time somebody's ever seen your stuff. And you want to put your best foot forward, but you really, guard your community. I mean, I'm not saying gatekeep, but to an extent,
must
don't
protect.
let it come into your house, and I'm not gonna let somebody come into my house and disrespect my wife or my friends. I mean, get the hell out of here, like, so I'm not going to let them do it in my Discord, and, community happens from there. So I'm not saying I've done it right, but that's how it's transpired for me. So
Right on.
Yeah. I love it. Okay. What would you do if one of your favorite characters from your favorite anime invited you to lunch?
what would I do if Vash the Stampede invited me to lunch? I would go get donuts with him. That's what I would do. Or even though I'm not a smoker, if Spike Spiegel, from Cowboy Bebop offered me a cigarette, I'd call it peer pressure. I want to smoke a pack with him, man. But yeah, I would say, man, my favorite anime characters, as much as I love Guts, I'd be afraid to be around Guts, man. Oh, God dang, no.
Yeah.
And Vampire Hunter D wouldn't be the best for conversation. So I'm going to go with Vash the Stampede here. And my old school, just love Trigun so much. I would say I'd go get donuts with him, and I would probably eat until I had a diabetic coma. That'd probably be what would happen. Yeah. So.
Well said, sir. Well said.
Yeah.
Great answers, and I love all of those.
Yeah.
Not so much the new Trigun. I tried to watch it and was.
I did. I'm not going to start it. I'm not going to try to start a dumpster fire in your comment section. I'll keep that to my own. But I didn't even give it. My brother was like, "Oh, you got to watch it." I'm like, "I love you, brother, my real life brother, but you have terrible taste in anime. I'm not gonna watch the new Trigun." I watched like a couple clips of it. I was just like, "I'm too close. I'm too invested in Trigun to give this a fair shot." So I'm out.
Well, you were right. I watched the first episode and realized, wow, this is terrible.
I just feel like there is a trend where people have to take existing IPs, and I'm not saying don't try to bring in new fans, but you can't take an IP and just destroy it to like reimagine it. It's like, then do your own IP. That's
exactly.
Fine.
Be creative. Yep.
Keep your meat hooks off my childhood. But that's just me.
I just have to say though, in defense of chat, and no troll could ever handle the trolls that are already welcomed into our chat.
Oh yeah, we have the funny, cute trolls of our chat, right?
All right.
If there's a dumpster fire, guaranteed it is our own chat that started it. And I have Wookiee's personal cell phone number, and I know who's gonna start it. So
yeah.
I uploaded within 10 seconds. I got 5 dislikes. I'm like, hey, I am loved. I'm loved enough someone's notifications so they can dislike my own video. All right. I see it. I see you. Yeah. All right. Anyway.
So, Ren, do you have any other hobbies or collections that would surprise your viewers?
I am a massive fan of giant monster movies and old school Doctor Who. I haven't watched Doctor Who since David Tennant left, like a decade ago. But I'm talking like 70s, 80s Doctor Who.
Tom Baker for the win.
Yeah, Tom. Did you say Tom Baker?
I did.
Oh my God, yeah, the GOAT, my favorite. John Pertwee. Like I love them all, but Tom Baker. There's just nothing else like him. And I love him so much. And but yeah, giant monster movies and kaiju movies from like the Heisei era, and there's a whole bunch of like kind of niche ones I love. Like my wife asked me what some of my favorites were, and I was like, The Magic Serpent, and she's like, "Are we talking about giant monster movies here?" And I'm like, I didn't name. Some of these Japanese names are a little sus, but like. I'm like, yes, it's a 1960 something. It helped influence Star Wars. Like, okay, well, anyways, but yeah, like I love giant monster movies and manga. I've loved Japanese culture ever since I was a kid because, like, I don't know, I felt like a kinship just with the film grain they would use, like. And, not just Godzilla, though that's where it started for me, just loving Japanese culture. That would lead into Vampire Hunter D, that would lead into these other things. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, I love hiking and being outside. It's really, but that's, that's about it. That's about it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, I have an irrational fear of zombies. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. When I was about 11 years old, I watched my cousin play Resident Evil on the PlayStation, and it petrified me. So that's giant chicken, but I do love scary movies too. So
Interesting.
yeah.
I love that. Have you ever been to an anime convention, and can you share a story if you have?
No, I want to go so bad too. I originally wanted to go to BlizzCon, but then Blizzard and me kind of had a big falling out in like 2018. I just kind of lost interest in that, but I do want to go to an anime convention sometime, or even like just a giant convention. Yeah, I'm from the Midwest, so I know there's multiples in the area. Maybe when my boys are a little older, I'll go. I don't know if I'll necessarily take them to an anime convention with all the cosplayers, yeah.
Did
I
you
don't want to
cosplay?
answer all the questions just yet, Yeah, but yeah, so I want to go someday. So maybe
Yeah.
many moons from now, when you guys need another, phone-in guest, I'll have I'll have a story for that one.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Druid, would you like to replace that question with the extra question we have there at the bottom, since we didn't have?
How much courage will you need to work up before playing Fear and Hunger to Termina?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, who asked that question?
I am not saying.
Will not say.
Okay, look, no joke. Fear and Hunger is one of the most disturbing video games I've ever played. And if you look at a picture of it, it's just like sprites, genuinely disturbing. Okay. Genuinely disturbing. Okay. The second one, it looks scarier in some ways to me, but not in others. I am genuinely unsettled to play that game. So I'm going to have to say an irrational amount, but we'll see what happens this October. Okay.
Ooh.
Well, in September, I'll try to find a censored version of the game like I did Fear and Hunger. Because for anybody out there, if you're going to play Fear and Hunger, if you're in any way easily triggered by anything that might be found in the show Berserk, do not play that game. Okay. That said, very entertaining, horrifying game. So I need to play the second one maybe for this Halloween. So
Interesting. You have me intrigued. I shall look this up.
Oh my! Be careful if you are going to look it up. It is as R-rated as they come. It is a horrifying video game. I am not kidding. The video on my channel is safe for work. Everything's censored out, but god dang is that game disturbing. So yeah. God dang.
So
Don't even look it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
speaking of nightmare fuel, have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and stepped on a Lego?
Oh man. No, but I have stepped on a miniature hard plastic walrus, and I thought it stabbed through my foot at one point in the moment, and then but no, I haven't. I've lived that nightmare, not the Lego yet. So I have broke my pinky toe though, and 2 out of 10 would not recommend. So.
Do you have to, when you play D&D, do you have physical dice?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
don't keep an eye on that.
What's that?
Oh, I was just gonna say, keep an eye on that D4.
Yeah. My gosh, no. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it's a infamous caltrip of D&D.
Yeah, there is a rogue dice somewhere around my house because I'm missing like an 8-sided die, but that one might not be as vicious to stand on as the D4. So, yes, let's just say there's going to be some, negative modifiers on that roll afterwards.
Through it.
Really quick, before we do we are on the last 3 crafted questions that we have on our end. So that means that we're going to be opening up the floor to chat. If you have any questions that you would like to throw out there, you are able to do so only if you've actually hit that link I just posted in chat and go subscribe. Those of you that have already subscribed, you are exempt. You can ask all the questions you want. I know who you are. I've been watching chat. I can figure it out. So the rest of you, though, do it. Do it now, and then prepare your questions only after you hit subscribe. You have 3 questions to get that to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
What is the weirdest sleeping dream you've ever had that you're willing to share?
I wish they were about waifus and things like that growing up. No, I am a notorious insomniac. I genuinely sleep very little, so I dream very little. So when I do dream, they are usually night terrors. I know that sounds a little edgelord, but I have had some truly like viciously real dreams. So I don't want to like bring down the mood of your chat, but there was this one that felt like almost prophetic, and I woke up thinking that was my last day on earth. Like, I felt like I had a visit from the great beyond, and it was like, get your affairs in order because you got 24 hours to go. It was just, and I would say for those 24 hours, I was the nicest SOB you've ever met in your life. I was like, we're out, gang. This is it.
We're done.
I was to respond to chat that day, I'd be like, you know what? I might just die in a fire. Thanks for asking. But yeah, that was. So unfortunately, I'm not blessed enough to have these like really cool heroic dreams. Oh wait, no, that's not true. I'm not really into Gears of War, but I had a dream once growing up that I was like Marcus Phoenix in Gears of War, but it wasn't like really bad. It was like really hardcore, and like I was like chainsawing some monsters, which is probably more an insight to my psyche. But yeah, like that was probably the coolest dream I've had in the last 20 years. So
nice answer.
I love that.
Nice. Well,
I never remember any of my dreams.
Yeah.
So I'm in the I don't dream club.
Right.
She's a bizarre lady. I tease her about it.
Yep. Whereas he has vivid lucid dreams.
Really?
Yeah,
I wish I did. I've heard some people take dream journals and stuff like that to try to help them remember dreams better. Maybe I should try stuff like that, but I usually I remember the ones I have because they're usually a glimpse behind the curtain, and
you're like, no.
Like, no, we repressed that for a reason. Let's keep going.
So, Rand, if you could have any superpower, which one would you choose and why?
I would tell you the one I wouldn't take.
Ooh, okay.
Reading minds. At one time, I was like, man, I'd really love to know what they think. And as I've gotten older, I'm like, man, that would be awful. God, no. But I think I would take flying because I have a mortal fear of flying on airplanes. And my wife grew up flying on airplanes all the time. So we fly not infrequently. And, I have to pretend to be okay with it the whole time. But inside, I'm like, I hope this isn't a Delta flight, and like, so I would say flying because I would trust myself to do it. As long as I don't pass out in the air or anything, I think I would take flying so I could just save a lot of money on that. So
right on. That's a good answer.
Well,
Very practical answer.
I could finally open these jars of pickles and whatnot. So
yeah. You stole my Delta joke. I was gonna make the Delta airline joke.
Oh yeah, hey.
Terrible minds think alike, apparently. I'm just
That's
kidding.
right. Do you two have crippling dreams?
I just also don't like flying.
Yeah.
And I have a soft spot for conspiracy theories. So just say.
I'm telling you, man. Look, I'll just say this. It's not a conspiracy if it's true. Okay? I would quit believing in them if they would quit coming true. You know, so hey. Anyway, we'll leave it at that.
All right, last and final question. This one is really important. Because if you pick one, the other one no longer exists. So
Oh, man. Oh, okay.
Mochi or red bean paste buns?
Mochi. That's tough. That's tough.
Yep.
That's tough.
I know.
That's tough. Woo! Yeah, that I was prepared for one direction. That was a different one, and so that one caught me off guard. So, but that was
Yeah.
What was the
That's
other
what I go
direction you
for.
were prepared for that you thought we might go?
I thought you might say like Tifa or Makoto or something like.
Okay.
Fun
These
fact.
words live forever on the internet. I can't take them back. So
Our last question is always a food related question.
okay, yeah.
Almost always, like 99% of the time. I think there was one or two times.
Yeah. One of them wasn't. I could remember off the top of my head. We already have 2 people in chat. Iltacine, shout out to Iltacine. Viewer question.
Okay.
Do you want to take it, Stormy?
Sure. You betcha. Ilt's here. That's awesome. Where is it?
It's above Star Kitties.
Right there. Yeah. Viewer question. Have you ever been told you look like Destin from Smarter Every Day?
No, I haven't. Hopefully that's not a slam on Destin.
I don't know who that is either. Somebody earlier in chat said, man, Hollowed is an attractive man. So I'm assuming that it's also.
Is my wife in that might be my wife in chat because they're on some crazy.
It's
Randolph the Gray one.
Oh, hey.
Thank you for the comment for our friend Randolph the Gray, first time chat. We appreciate you.
Star Kitty, show and tell with us your favorite anime / action figure / figure in your room right now, please.
Great idea, Star Kitty.
Let me see here. Okay, I got a little bit of crazy here. So let me see here. I would say right now. Okay, look, I love Gantz. But I think at the end of the day, I might have to go with Robin from One Piece or Lynn from Fire Emblem. Yeah. I don't know if you can see those.
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah. I'd have to go with them. Yeah. As much as I love Illidan, the Betrayer, I think that's probably my favorite right now. So it changes quite often. So yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was Gamera last week. If you'd have asked me 7 days ago, I'd have told you Gamera, the giant turtle behind me, but it's not his week. So
we understand. The mind changes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's why it's tough making top 10 lists. It's like my top 10 list is different tomorrow, but that's what it is today. So.
Jolter asks, you said you were a Vengeance Paladin IRL. Is that your current D&D character? If so, any memorable smite or combat moments?
Well, we're still got a baby campaign going. But right now, while our dungeon master is preparing the next slew of it, I think we're only like level 4 right now. But I haven't had any cool epic moments because I have I have clearly broken too many mirrors, and I have probably pissed off one too many ethereal gods in my day because I roll like trash. But when I do hit, something dies. Okay, something's gonna die when I hit, but that's not very hot.
Hopefully,
That's not very.
Well,
hopefully your DM doesn't have hit your friend's fumble rules then.
Yeah, he does. He does. Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. We're going with that house rule. All right, all right. Hey, you know what? I'm not going to be that dude who questions the GM or the DM. So I roll with it. I just apologize to my friend as I give him another scar on his body. When I miss. So
Yeah. People joke about this topic. Sorry to interrupt you, Drew, but
go ahead.
after having played D&D for a lot of decades, since 1981 is when I started DMing and playing.
that's awesome.
And I've played with so many different people, and yes, it's still technically anecdotal, but in my humble, mildly unscientific opinion, from my perspective, there is something to the dice gods, because there are some people that I play with and still do who roll crazy good or crazy bad. Starkitty and I, one of our friends that we play with, we've been playing with him for almost 9 years now, and he consistently rolls more ones than anyone I've ever seen. He's changed his dice multiple times, and it still happens. And on the flip side, we had another buddy of ours that we played with for several years. We nicknamed him Sir Crits a lot because he literally was just like critting all the time.
Fate's the same way. Fate rolls great.
Especially for his initiative. I statistically, I literally, there was this moment. You remember, Druid, when I had a conversation with you guys? I was like, dude, are you like really rolling your die? Do you have can you try a different die for a while? Because I went back and looked at his initiative rolls, and I kid you not, for 30 sessions in a row, he didn't roll less than an 18 on his initiative rolls.
Yes!
It was like, what? And it was in a row. It was in a row.
Oh my God. Yeah, no. I mean, I'm consistently second to last, and I think I roll at least 1 or 2 ones a night. It's rough. It's rough, But
Right.
if I'm looking in the room that there's nothing in there, I'm rolling 20s, But yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
True Druid. Yep.
Sorry, I was like, yeah, if you hang out around Stormkeep, we'll teach you how to play D&D. Does anybody else in chat have any more questions? If not, do you have any questions, Ren?
Let's see. Yeah. What was the first game you guys played?
Ooh.
I'm curious.
I'm too old to answer that question.
My first. Okay, I have played my very first game I did ever play. Before I didn't have very nice stepsisters growing up, and so the only video game I was allowed to play that wasn't theirs was Diddy Kong Racing. I did play Diddy Kong Racing on the N64 sporadically through my childhood, and then eventually I didn't touch video games again forever, and then it was Minecraft and Skyrim on the Xbox 360. Those are the 2 games that got me into video games.
Well, so I'm going to answer that question the way she did, in that I'll tell you the first 2 games that I ever played, and then I'll tell you the games that actually got me into wanting to buy a PC and game, because that's a span of quite a few years. But the first game I ever played was a text-based adventure. I don't even remember the name of it, but I think it was probably one of those haunted house ones from back in, maybe it was the one with the dark in the title. I forget, but it was a text-based adventure game on the Trash 80, the TRS 80, And then the
Wow.
first visual one that I ever got to play, I actually got to go to a computer camp in the early 80s. And this was like, this was when Pong was being like developed and stuff. And so I got to play a light cycle game on the VAX, which is a room-sized computer for colleges. And but the games that got me into PC gaming were the original Civilization and the original Doom. When I saw those on a PC, I'm like, and technically also the Ultima games. Like I was like, I gotta play these games.
Yeah, I love RPGs so much, and so I've always been fascinated by Ultima, and I've watched some videos on it. I want to try them someday, just because it's my favorite genre, and you kind of want to see where it kind of had that genesis from. And
right,
yeah, I've always been fascinated by the Ultima series. So, and especially since I loved MMOs for so long, I do feel like Ultima Online. I mean, the World of Warcraft dev team lists that as like their inspiration for what got them to create the game I would be addicted to for decades,
right,
so.
right.
Yeah. But, and then the only other question I've been dying to ask you guys is, what's the hardest video game you've ever played?
Oh, that's an easy one for me. I'm going to go ahead of her on that one. For me, recently, I'm kind of known on my channel because I prefer first person games. Now, don't get me wrong, I like top down perspective games too, tactical combat, strategy games, things like that, Diablo, etc. But from the action kind of games, I prefer first person. The over the shoulder third person games are just I very rarely am drawn to them. The Witcher 3 is the only one I can think of that I actually completed. But the one that was hardest for me, I used a first person mod on Dark Souls 3. And I couldn't complete it because we got to a point where trudging through the swamp was a pain in the ass, and these two twin guys were just kicking my ass, and I'm like, okay, I'm done now.
Vicious. Yeah. Vicious.
It was impressive watching him play Dark Souls 3 in first person perspective.
I'm shocked you made it to the swamp in first person. That's
thanks.
Sorry, Druid. Please, yeah.
No, it's impressive. No, the hardest game that I ever attempted playing is I'm terrible with platform games.
Mm-hmm.
I hate them, and I tried to play Ori, and I will never look at that game in the eye again. It's a beautiful game. I'm just terrible at platformer games. Awful.
Yeah.
I'm awful at them.
Yeah, I would say for me, like, out of my wheelhouse of games that I'm experienced with that I feel like were super difficult, I won't spend a lot of time on it, but SMT Strange Journey, that game is ruthlessly difficult. I love it. It's like The movie The Thing, but set in like a JRPG. It's just it's just a setting. It's like something happens in Antarctica, and it's like it's a really cool setting. Very difficult game because I was still pretty new to that type of game. But here recently, my son wanted to play Crash Bandicoot. That game kicked my butt so hard, and I didn't want him to see me fail, so I pushed my way through it. That ranks as one of the hardest video games I've ever played because I'm not good at platforming either. Like, that game was viciously difficult for me. So, anyways, but yeah, thank you guys for sharing. That's fascinating.
No, I agree. That's a great question. I wish that's phenomenal.
I struggle with even just playing the game. I am not the crafted streamer or YouTuber. I applaud the crafted like YouTube content so much. Like, the fact that you're willing to sit down, write a script, craft it, talk about it, do like that is awesome. I love that. I love that so much. I could just I just hit go live and we just talk shit for 4 hours. I move around a little bit in Enderall. That's all we do. It's fantastic. It's so easy.
No.
Um,
You guys got such a fantastic setup here. And for any of my viewers who might be watching, I'm telling you guys, like, I discovered Stormy's videos when I was playing Daggerfall, and it was just slapping me left and right. And bless him, I found his guide on that. And I was like, well, this is one freaking cool dude. Oh, he's streaming because I watched it. I freaking love your guys' content. When you guys have your big mashup, Bigfoot game, I love it. And but you guys have a really legit setup here. You guys have so many fantastic, interesting people on here. I'm just so honored to have been a part of this. And for anybody, for me who's watching, please sub to them on YouTube as well as on here, because you guys are slamming. It's inspiring, the level of professionalism you guys have, and have fun doing it. So
you just melted my heart and made my whole weekend, buddy.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for letting me jank up your stream a little bit. Okay.
Oh, excellent. It's just, we're just trying to work you into the Twitch sphere, right?
Yeah.
We're just trying to get you introduced to Twitch.
When you have
Guys,
time,
you know
we would love to have you join our super community.
Can we, you haven't typed in chat yet. Hold on.
What's going on?
Is it _YouTube on Twitch? Did I get it right? No. Well, that's the YouTube.
Star Kitty got it.
I was trying to shout out his Twitch to get people to follow his Twitch.
Yeah, a plethora of content. I appreciate the thought.
No problem. Well, on that note, guys, please, everything he just said about us applies equally to him and more so. So please go over onto YouTube. There's the link right there. Subscribe to him and make sure that we help support him and get him to the point where he is one of those monsters on YouTube and can work from home, doing the things that he hates, which is editing videos.
Right. That's
no,
right.
actually, kidding. We want him to be able to hire an editor so he can do it more for us.
I want to be able to hire an editor. God,
yes. So go watch his stuff. Get him there. Get him to be able to hire an editor. Then maybe we could talk him into being a Twitch streamer too.
That's right. On that note, thank you once again for joining us, my brother. It's been a pleasure and an honor.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you.
Chat's the best.
I know. We have the most amazing community, and I'm so glad we got to meet some of HallowedBeThyGame, Ren's community as well. And it was really cool hanging out in his Discord a little bit, random DMing some folks in his Discord that looked like they were the most active folks. And he's going to have a fun time chatting with them to figure out who it was that shared some of those interesting questions. But that's what we're all about. Hanging out, being friends, and helping friends make new friends. So
absolutely.
Speaking of new friends, Druid, who we got on next week?
We have on Tammy Size.
Yeah. Tammy Size.
Another one of the Mighty Mangoes.
Right. She's in the Mighty Mango circle. Also, folks, don't forget that I guess apparently the hand of the king here, lady, has decreed that I must take a vacation to go on a quest and face this beast called rest and recuperation, or R&R, whatever R&R stands for. I gotta go either become one with it or conquer it. I'm not sure, but I'm be doing some resting, and
absolutely,
I will miss you guys severely, but Druid and BT and Fate and Kieran Shikato and Wookiees and Cookies and OG Blaze, they will all still be here to take care of you guys and provide you with amazing camaraderie and content.
Absolutely. And if not, you have a new YouTube channel to go watch.
That's right. Yeah. Look at you, clever girl. But we'll be back for B&B next Friday, regardless, and the Old Man Garrus role play. So come check that out. And then after that, we'll be back again, and we got a special comeback stream planned. So it's going to be fun. We got lots of stuff planned coming up on this spring, summer, like end of things. People are going to be stoked and excited with all the amazing stuff we have going. And anything else to add, Druid? I'm kind of
no
overwhelming.
I think we're good. No, okay. You're great. You did a good job. I'm excited that you're going on a vacation.
I might actually, believe it or not next week, but the following week, I might actually drive down to Corpus Christi and do nothing on a beach for a couple of days. See. Yeah,
absolutely. So good.
I got to remember the sunscreen because I don't want to fry.
I would think it's hilarious. But anyways, ready to outro?
Yes. Thank you so much, guys. All right. Here we go. Thank you for coming to the show.
Please drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below.
If you're listening to the podcast,
please rate and review the episode.
We're Bandwidth
and Banter.
Thank you.
And good night.
Bye, guys. Bye, guys.